All right, everybody, welcome to it's a bit of a landmark for us here, boys. Sode 10. Sode 10.
Sode 10.
And with the arguing that went on in that group chat for the last 10 episodes, I'm really shocked we made it here, but let's hope we get to another 10. So as
barely
usual,
made it. Like we were dragging people across the finish line. Plain.
Yeah, I had a bit of a meltdown this week. I kind of took a little bit of frustration out on the boys. Willsdom had to lay it on me there.
Willsdom.
It's good. I appreciate it. Boomer had to pull the reins back on Thoroughbred Wallace, so appreciate it, boys. That's always good. Pratt, always good for the motivational speech too. Actually, Pratt was nowhere involved. He came into everything like 2 hours later and just made a random comment. Didn't even know what was going on. So
I knew what was going on. You just didn't want to hear from me.
Yeah, that would have been the cherry on top. We'll get things started again this week, you guys, with the Tap House tip-off. Boomer, swear jar, how's that rolling along?
We had a pretty cheap week.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap week. From what I understand, we're only in for 10 more bucks after last week, so it's 147 bucks.
Well,
Soft.
Not gonna lie, after the hour I've just spent with this meathead on Facebook arguing, I'm probably in for at least 30 bucks this week because I'm just gonna be dropping random swear. I had to go. I was power
lane
outside, power dragging smokes. I was just rattled. We'll get into that later. Pratsky, Ice Factory. Oh no, Boomer, you still got to do the pizza giveaways. That was a great tweet by you, by the way. Loved it. DeChambeau,
yeah,
which I really hate that guy, but good on you.
I made a solid 50 off of him this weekend.
I did. We'll get into the 50 you lost though later on. We'll say.
Hey, I made 50 this morning again though.
Oh my! Oh, wow.
I'm just juggling her around.
He's just got red ones that he's throwing up in the air.
Oh.
No, I'm really happy to be giving this giveaway away because, as everybody knows out there, pizza's pretty near and dear to my heart. So I got 32 names in here for retweets. So that's a lot. So I guess we'll see what comes out of this. Devin Aspinall.
Oh,
Devo.
2 free large pizzas. Go to Devo from the Tap House from Pete there. Right on.
Also, I gotta get
for
Matty Garrigan his prize. Like I gotta get on this. I'm lacking.
Yeah.
I think everyone has their stuff that they need though, right, guys? I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think Brody has a lot of beer, but Haygarth's going to be bugging me for that 50 bucks pretty soon here. I can already feel it. So perfect. I better get that to him.
Okay, we'll flip it on over to Mr. Pratt for the Ice Factory trivia contest.
Ice Factory trivia.
Indeed. My wife's washing mine upstairs. Sorry. I would actually.
You want to give them a little plug? Jeff and Lee, good buddies of ours. For our listeners, you need booze, go to the Ice Factory. I'm going to tell you why. Money you put into the Ice Factory goes right back into your community. You see them on the boards at the rinks. You see them on the benches of the golf courses, kids' jerseys, fundraisers, you name it. They even got, the Days Inn, where the Ice Factory is, they got $5 burger for a cause. $5 from every burger goes to a local nonprofit. And best part of all, if you don't want to take your drinks to go, the beef bar is open. Which we've been there once or twice. So
oh Lord,
beef rocks
on down there. So
beef rocks.
So the question was most second places in the Masters, and the answer was Tom Weiskopf. Had about a dozen winners.
It was a tie.
It was a tie. It was a bit of a.
It was a trick question, but
kind of trickish.
Kinda. It was just. Yeah.
Mixing them up.
We're grasping here.
Big time. Huge. Yeah. We don't know what to ask anymore.
Poochie. Chris Gouldy.
Gould.
Oh,
Really?
he's yeah.
don't
As
like
soon
that
as
50
this
bucks,
episode hits, he'll be in the truck driving at the Estevan.
Does Gould drink?
Oh, this is I thought. Yeah, right. I thought it was for pizza. I thought
No.
Gould, but yeah,
Well,
really
you know,
be able
maybe,
to figure out a way to use that.
Gouldy likes a beer and a pizza. Okay.
yeah, Gould might be buddies with Aspinall too. You never know.
So then the question for this week. Joe Carter hits the World Series game-winning home run in 1993. We all know that one. But the question is, who was on deck? So we will post that on Twitter tomorrow. Tweet us your answer. And that's the Ice Factory trivia question.
Oh, shit. Love it. Thanks, sponsors, Ice Factory, Tap House, Pete, Jeff, Lee. Love it. Our top five. I got carved up so bad for my top five by this group and by people on Twitter. It was bad last week. So I really needed to come out and redeem myself. Wilson was the worst on me. I've never actually had him beak me that bad on a top five, but it was warranted. I didn't put any effort into it. I mailed it in. So this week's top five. Who is our favorite athletes not a part of the top big five? And by big five, we mean NHL, MLB, NFL. Did I say NHL?
Sure, but we know what we know.
We know the top four and golf.
People should
Those
know
are
what
off
the top
limits.
five are.
Those are off limits. So I'll get mine going here. My number five. Oh man, Wilson's still gonna carve me up for this. When you hear the glass, you know it's your ass.
Oh,
That would be
yeah.
Steve Austin. For those that don't know, if during the 90s, if you didn't know who Steve Austin was and you weren't rocking a middle finger and
Quit calling him Steve Austin.
Yeah, he is not Steve
Wow.
Austin. Goodness.
Steven,
Is that-
Mr. Austin.
Stephen Austin,
Isn't Steve Austin
Stone
the $1 million
Cold.
man's
Stone Cold
boss?
316.
Like-
The guy. You all know who he is. He was
$1 million.
basically an icon of a generation for us growing up. Me a little bit more later on in life, but for you guys, that was probably you all know who he is. We all know who he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like it.
That was my number five. My number four, Joey Chestnut.
Oh, I almost went there.
Joey Chestnut, you magnificent bastard who won another hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July. Some stats for your ass here. This is great. He is the number one ranked major league eater. That is a thing. That is literally a thing. Didn't know that. Pretty pumped to find that out. There might be a retirement job for me. 47 grilled cheese sandwiches he ate in 10 minutes. 47. 118 jalapeno poppers in 10 minutes. And this one blows my mind. 182 wings in 30 minutes.
Wow. Whoa.
That is just mind-boggling. Good on you, Joey. I'm just impressed. I almost throw up when I watch you eating the hot dogs, by the way, but it's well worth it.
He is like second place. He could have quit. The stats on that eating competition alone are nuts. He's blowing them out of the water.
Oh yeah. The closest was the Japanese fella. I cannot remember his name.
No, the second place.
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, yeah. Yeah. Not
Oh,
this year,
but
Wilson, a couple of years
second
back.
place, the girl would have got second overall. The
Yep.
one who won the women's eating or hot dog eating contest.
Had to throw Joey in there. That's number 4 for me. Number 3, gotta have some intro music for this one.
Yeah, rip it.
We all know who that is. If you don't, you're living under a rock. Hulk Hogan. If you weren't saying your prayers, training, taking your vitamins, you don't remember the listening for the crowd. It just icon. Once again, same thing for Austin, just a little bit earlier in the career. Loved it. My number 2, and I really loved this guy growing up watching. They had great matches. I liked one more than the other, Andre Agassi. Big always wanted him to beat Pete Sampras. I just did not like Pistol Pete. There was something about him. And Agassi, who was he banging at the time? Was it Brooke Shields? Who
I
was he?
think they were married,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Good on him. Like, bald-headed dude, just,
Did he have a drug problem?
yeah.
did back then.
I have
I
his
don't think so.
Yeah, he had a bit of a substance. He had a rough childhood too.
And bald head, he is known for the greatest sports mullet going.
I realize that, but I'm talking later in his career when he lost the hair, and he had Nike. Yeah, he was one of the top paid athletes at that time for Nike. Believe that or not. And there was a time where Sampras, Chang, Agassi, all those, Jim Courier. It was great to watch tennis in the 90s with those guys. So that was number 2 for me. And number 1, Wilson, quit with that damn smirk.
No, I'm laughing because you just blurted a guy out on my list that I thought no one would ever fucking say. So
Oh,
Yes.
my bad. And my number 1, if you guys don't have this one, I'll be shocked. Georges St-Pierre. The guy, if, I don't know, there's just something about him. He's not cocky, but man, was he damn good. I mean, he wasn't a ferocious fighter, but you just couldn't beat him. And great technical guy, very respectful, didn't talk a lot of shit. Hated Diaz. I mean, that was great because at least he actually came out of his shell and shit talked him a bit. GSP, and I was really going to – I don't want to say this guy because I'm sure he's on Pratt's list. I know
Don't say it.
Huh?
Oh,
My honorable mention. If you don't say it, I'll bring it up at the end. But I'm gonna leave. I took it off because I'm sure he's on your list. So that's my top 5. I think I redeemed myself, especially with Hogan and Austin. I tried doing a top 5 WWE this week. I got shut down hard. That's what led to the meltdown actually in the group chat. So just so everyone knows, Boomer, your list.
Yeah, like, and again, I'm scrambling for trying to figure this out and where I'm going to go and who I'm going to pick. And then you say Georges St-Pierre, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think of fighting. Like,
what?
MMA.
what an idiot.
That was
Yeah,
one
I
of the
didn't
first
think
ones
of
I
Went
went
on
to.
my list. I got a spare now, but
I didn't think of fighting. I didn't think of fighting. I didn't think of boxing. Now that you say that, I didn't think of tennis. Like, and I got 2 sports on there that you guys are going to wonder if they're even sports. Actually,
What sports
3.
did you go with?
Oh man.
I'm
Okay.
curious.
So here's my first one. Like, Pratt will know who this is, but do either Lane Wallace or Dustin Wilson know who Brad Jacobs is?
curler.
Okay, so my this is my number 5. The entire Brad Jacobs team in curling, and the only reason that I'm saying that is because, like, to me, like, my wife is huge into curling. Her whole family's huge into curling. I never liked curling, but then back in like 2012 or something, these guys bust onto the scene, and all they are is just great, big, athletic dudes that are just like it was Brad Jacobs at the time, EJ and Ryan Harden and Ryan Fry, who's now curling with another team. But they were the team that came on, won the Brier, won the Olympic trials, and then won the 2014 gold medal in Sochi. And I don't know, like, I just, like, to me, I was thinking of like the best in their current sport, top 5. I was not thinking my favorite top 5. We should have been clearer on that. But anyways, that's my number 5. My number 4. Have you guys ever heard of Efren Reyes, or Efren the Magician Reyes, should I say?
No. Who's
No.
that?
Filipino billiards champion. He is widely regarded as the best billiards player possibly to ever play the game. He's a 3-time U.S. Open winner, a 2-time World Cup winner, a 2-time World Pool League winner, and 13-time Derby City winner. He's also an unprecedented 5-time Master of the Table champion. So this guy has done it all.
You know him? Do you know him, or
We literally just go to billiards on this show. Is that where we went?
Hey, listen, you guys said non-major sports, and I completely jumped
all right?
right on off a limb.
Fair enough.
Next guy, Carl Lewis.
Ugh.
Who?
No.
Well, he was okay.
He's a dick.
Oh, he's a loser.
No.
He's an
Yeah,
absolute.
He's the
huge
guy that
loser.
screwed over Ben Johnson, man.
He's an
No, he
absolute.
didn't.
He's
Yes, he did. Watch the documentary, Pratt.
Did he
an
inject him with
absolute
steroids?
loser. I'm
Well-
not arguing. I'm not arguing. He's a loser. He's an absolute loser.
Oh,
But we're
right.
also
Why is he
talking
on your
about a
list?
guy.
Oh, right. You didn't know we were talking about this episode.
Didn't know we were talking about favorites. But, okay,
Mm.
this is a guy that was drafted by both the Chicago Bills and Dallas Cowboys, despite never playing either sport at the college level.
Chicago Bills. Did he say Bills or Bulls, or am I high right
Bent
there?
balls.
Chicago Bulls. Sorry. But think about that for 5 seconds. You were drafted by a professional basketball team and football team, and you didn't even play it in college. He ended up with 10 Olympic medals, 9 of them being gold in various athletic categories, including the relay, 100 meter, 200 meter, and long jump. So get him out of the way. Hey, I got another one. This one you guys are going to love. Phil the Power Taylor. You ever heard of him?
Man?
Volleyball?
No. No.
Lumberjack?
Darts.
Oh,
No.
God.
Yeah,
has
you hate
Bear
those.
knows him.
Just about had it.
He has 85 majors, 16 world championships. And what's even more incredible was his 8 world titles in a row from 95 to 2002. So Phil the Power Taylor. There you go.
I'm
And
confused on what the fuck you do with your spare time to
I
figure
know.
these guys out.
Did
my
you
next one,
look all
my
this
next
shit
one,
up?
my number one is Michael Phelps. And
Who's he?
I mean, what?
This actually makes sense, Boomer.
Okay, so my number one is Michael Phelps. He barely edged out Phil Taylor, just so we're clear. He has 28 Olympic medals, the most of all time. He has 23 Olympic gold medals, and he has 16 of those in individual events. He's the most decorated Olympic swimmer ever. So he's fantastic.
I don't know if that was like one of the best top 5 lists or the worst I've ever
Wow,
heard.
God.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be one of the funniest things I've ever heard. We just
Yeah,
got educated on.
Phil, the whatever
Oh.
you said, Taylor.
The power.
Phil
The power. How much
Wow.
power do you need in darts?
You said it with
This-
such
Wow.
conviction, I almost cared.
Man, this guy makes the triple 20 look like nothing, look like butter. Just filthy. I know if Dustin Fair listens to this episode, he's going to call me probably crying with joy, so happy that I listed his idol. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Wilson, please save this segment.
Okay. I came up with a bunch right off the bat, and I'm like, oh man, these are gonna get used up right away. So they haven't yet. So I'm going to throw a couple in. I had some spares just in case they got mentioned. GSP was one of them, so I won't throw him in. So I'll start one off. Muhammad Ali. And once again, I wasn't able to really grow up watching him, but when the word GOAT gets thrown around, it's something like, especially in a non, like, I mean, boxing was so big back then that, I mean, it probably would have been in a top, like, it would have been included in this category if there's guys doing
Oh, yeah.
podcasts back then.
Oh, question though, is it because of how he was in boxing, or is it because of the movement and the social presence he had?
Both.
Oh,
Okay,
Both.
fair. Yeah.
Anyway, and that's why he'd be on, like, just his like his reputation and just his legacy that he's built. I mean, he's an easy one to throw on there. That's why I thought maybe, I don't know if
Well,
everyone kind of thought that
I
too.
stayed away. I was gonna throw another. I got others for honorable mentions, but I just whatever.
Wilson,
So
I had him on mine, but I got spares too. But what I wanted to bring up, and I think it's a great argument. I don't know what your guys think, but he takes Tyson in their primes. I think Ali beats Tyson, and it's a great debate. I think, but I'll go Muhammad Ali all day over
Man,
Mike Tyson.
nobody is beating Mike Tyson in his prime. When
I
he
just
was-
wish Tyson could have kept it together.
Oh.
Because I was thinking of those two on my list, but Muhammad Ali just has the kind of that longevity and just everything that goes along with him, is the out of the ring type stuff. But next one, which he's came up, actually Pratt brought him up last week, Donovan Bailey. So the 96, like that was in Atlanta, I remember watching it and the whole Johnson thing, like we talked about. Like it was just that was a big thing. That would have been what 10? Was it love track and field? Like it was just.
It
For
was
that,
big for Canadians because it meant we were able to compete with them on a world stage, right?
exactly. It was so he was another easy one on my list. Here's where it gets kind of weird, probably. I'll mention the one that Lane said. So this is definitely me at a younger age, and I was a tennis fan, but me just trying to be different, right? Not wanting Sampras, not liking Agassi. Favorite tennis player back then, Michael Chang.
Oh,
Wow.
And I was
He's
I was
good,
sitting there
man.
thinking about it. I'm like, ooh, tennis. I'm like, Michael Chang was my guy back then.
Yeah.
Once again, wasn't a big tennis player, but I did watch it a bit. I watched it probably more back then than I do now. But so anyway, he'd be number 3. Next one. This is a bit of a weird one, but it kind of goes with the legacy of being a different sport. Jonah Lomu. Do you guys know who that is?
Come again?
Jonah Lomu.
God bless you.
He he is from. Okay, when you think of rugby, do you think of someone specific?
Oh, that big. Okay, not to be, but the big Samoan guy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, like that was. I just was once again thinking of different sports. That guy was 6'5", 260, and like
Couldn't stop him.
the Cowboys tried signing him. I think the Redskins, like he never did go play in the NFL, obviously, but that guy was an absolute monster. And for me, not a big rugby guy once again, although watching it is like, Boomer, you remember the AKFL days playing football with no equipment.
Oh,
You imagine playing against some of those guys, just, oh my God. I broke 2 collarbones playing against, yeah. Not guys that are 6'5", 260. Is just he's a beast. The last one, and this is a weird one,
one of the best summers of my life.
would be Demetrius Hook Mitchell. So you guys don't know who that is? He's a street baller,
Oh.
and he is one. So I kind of started thinking outside, Pratt, you had said at one point out of the sports, not out of the leagues. So I was like, I don't know if this one's going to work or not. But his story. So he grew up in Oakland playing with Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, a lot of other NBA stars, Antonio Davis.
Marbury.
Was he with Marbury?
I believe so. Yeah. Now that you say this, I think
he's 5'9", and he's like 30 dunk contests. Like the guy's crazy. He's and all these guys say that he, like Peyton, Kidd, said he was the best one growing up. And then so it's just he was on the streets and playing at the parks and got into drugs, and I think he went to jail for robbing a Blockbuster and never made it to the show, like never made it to the league and stuff. So
that's not really up in your
story
credit in the joint. Yeah, I robbed a Blockbuster.
Actually, watch his. I think the documentary's called Hooked, and then it's about Demetrius Mitchell. And it's about him in jail right now, and he just basically plays basketball all day. So I don't know. Seems pretty cushy in there, but anyway,
I will say this. I feel cheated because I thought we were staying away from like all like basketball or side stuff like that. I would have said the professor on mine. I would have said the professor.
For street
ball. Do you know who the professor is?
The white guy.
Yes, but
he's like the only white
guy that literally makes everyone just look stupid.
Other than white chocolate.
Yeah, he's like Jason Williams except a street baller, and it's I would have had him on my list, but anyway, I digress. Jeffrey, if you don't have this one on your list, I'm going to be so disappointed in you.
Well, so the ironic part about this is my trivia question a few weeks ago: who I want to marry. the 3 dimes I had on there are all not in the big 5 sports. But I thought with my heart, not something else. So here's my list. I'm still going with Donovan Bailey.
Yep.
Yeah, his 100-meter, as awesome as that was. If you're bored, go to YouTube and watch the 4x100 too. If you don't get goosebumps after watching that when he runs the anchor, that's actually cooler than his 100-yard dash. But so yeah, my second one, I'm gonna go with Sandra Schmirler. I watched a lot of curling in the 90s, and she was my gal. I had a tiny crush on her, actually, at the time.
Oh, she was all right. Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
And
Sandra Schmirler?
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm not
what a
talking like
superstar.
3-time champ Sandra Schmirler. Like right off the hop, second year, she was not bad, boys. Like
She was
Sandra had it
dominant,
going
too.
on.
She was, I mean, arguably one of the best of all time. I think she won 2 Olympics and a whole bunch of
Sandra
stuff.
Schmirler?
Sandra Peterson, you know Sandra Schmirler? Yeah.
Well, get the glasses.
Different era,
on.
buddy.
She looks like Wallace from last
I was
week's
just gonna
episode.
say, she looks like Lane.
That's
Okay.
Lane from last week's episode. I did not know you were a decorated female curler. Good for you. You'd have made
I
my
even
top
have the
5.
I even have the
Okay.
airwave.
You'd have made
Wow.
my top 5 tonight.
Let's see that again. Hold on. Let's see that.
That's too perfect.
That is quality, folks. Hold that up.
Oh my god.
I like that. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay,
Well-
Brad, keep going.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Anyways, next one. I got Johnny Moe. Okay. Enough with Sandra. She passed away. Like, let's be.
Yeah. Have some respect.
I'm just laughing because Pratt's attracted to her.
That's even better.
Oh, man.
Oh, I knew there was a special bond between you guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. I can't wait to watch this epi back. Anyway.
There's a better picture of her. I will find it. It was not bad looking.
There's nothing better than that one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's a classy gal. She's a classy gal.
Okay,
Okay, Brad, keep
sorry,
going.
Pratsky.
Derailing.
Okay. Johnny Morris, my favorite men's curler of all time. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yes.
He's a beauty. Loves to have
Why
a
would
good
you
time.
pick him? Why would you pick
Why?
him? Yeah.
He's just an all-around wicked dude.
Yeah, he's a fireman and he's pretty and all the women like him and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Hell of a curler. He's a world champ.
well, yeah, he's no Olympic champ, but yeah.
Yeah, he just won the
Is he?
doubles gold.
Oh, yeah, that's right, he is.
Mixed doubles gold. Him and Caitlin Laws.
Yeah, that's right.
We struck a nerve with Pratt and Johnny.
Wow.
How many is that? I'm at 4 or 3.
No, that's 3.
Is it?
Schmirler felt like 2, but it was just
Well,
one.
it was 2. It was Lane and Schmirler.
Okay. My next one, Petey Sampras. He was my guy. Good rivalry with Agassi. Quick story, when I was in college, me and my college roommate, Slasher, we had a $20 McDonald's tab bet on Agassi Sampras in the U.S. Open final and dishes for a month. And Sampras came out on top. So I remember that.
Who
trip
was
to
he
McDonald's.
banging at the time? They both had hot chicks.
Well, he was married to Bridget Wilson, who was
There
on
you go. Yeah.
Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
Oh.
That Veronica
Wilson.
Vaughn.
Veronica. Yeah, okay.
Veronica Vaughn. Yeah.
And the last one, number 1, Devon Harris, Dudley Stokes, Michael White, and Freddie Powell. The 1988 Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah. Cool runnings.
If I'm going to cheer for an underdog, a team, they're my pick right there, and I love the story. Hell of a movie, too. So,
Okay,
finish it off.
we dropped the ball on a bunch here. I thought for sure Pratt would have Conor McGregor.
Well, yeah. GSP I had, I like him better than McGregor.
Well, I realize, but
So
like Djokovic, Nadal, Federer.
I don't like Djokovic at all.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I would have thought some of those.
I
over
had one that I wish I would have said.
John Morrison or whoever you said there, Pratt.
Mark
I'm a curler,
McMorris.
man. I love curling, and
Mark
so I'm going to go with
McMorris,
my boy.
there's a good one. There's a good
Mark
one.
McMorris, little local flavor.
snowboarder.
I actually wish he would have been on my list.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. I'll put him in over Ali.
I want to get some feedback on
Another one?
Tyson Ali.
Here's
Tony
the thing.
Hawk.
I don't think anybody like in their primes. We're saying in their primes. Nobody could compete with Tyson. If he got you, you were done. If he got you, all it took was one shot.
Keep in mind, Muhammad Ali was in prison during his prime. As great as he was, he missed the prime years
Well,
going to prison for
Yeah.
something I find very honorable.
and oddly enough, Tyson went to jail oddly right after his prime.
A little after his prime, and the competition to me was Ali had way more competition amongst his peers than Tyson did.
Which is kind of crazy, hey? Considering in the boxing world, like most other sports, like golf, for example,
Yeah.
what was there? 7 guys who could win a tournament each weekend. Now there's literally the entire field has a chance.
Yeah.
What is
That's
the famous
actually
one where he's
interesting
over
point.
top of the guy? Is it Sonny Liston? Is that
Yeah.
the
No,
If
you-
guy over top of him and
Yeah.
it's that famous picture and
Yeah.
Rumble in the Jungle is
That
one
was
of the
in
best.
Boomer's signature or
that's one of my
trademark.
top fives.
trademark? Yeah.
Rumble in the Jungle is one of the best sports moments of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Him and George Foreman.
Yeah.
Watch that
There's
fight.
another one I could, George Foreman. The guy has his own grill. That's got to
Mhm.
give you something, right? If you've got
And-
your own grill, you've made it in life, right? If that's where you're at. So, wow. I don't know, Boomer. I think you got the shit end of the stick this week, buddy. I think you're Phil Taylor. You lost me, bud. But to each their own. Billiards.
Oh,
He
man.
dug deep.
Yeah, you did. And you know what?
You
though?
know,
I
I
because you went and got the stats. I thought I was coming with something, Joey Chestnut stats. You dug, and that alone keeps you out of the stink hole. So we're good. Thanks
you
again,
know
guys.
how hard it
Awesome,
is to get stats about billiards?
by the way,
Off
for anyone
your list.
watching this after, I'm going to find a decent picture of Sandra Schmirler, and I'm putting this to bed because that was the worst picture Boomer could have found. That's not even fair. It's
That's
not even-
literally the only one I found.
I'll find another one. Trust me. You go
He's
digging.
pretty.
Oh, Layton's doing 2 episodes this week.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that just doesn't do her justice. Damn it.
Ooh.
All right. All right, so we're back after that, whatever the hell that was. Swear to God, Sandra Schmirler, give me a break. So we're gonna do kind of something a little different. We're gonna do rapid fire. I'm just gonna come up with the topic. We're gonna go around the horn. Anybody who wants to jump in, hit it up. In light, first one I'm gonna hit up. The first one is in light of what Patrick Mahomes just signed for here the other day, that astronomical amount of money. Is any athlete worth that amount of money?
Well, obviously they paid. Yeah, of
You're
course
worth
he is.
what they'll pay you. You're worth what they'll
Then okay, the thing is he's young. He just the most important thing is he just won a champion, and he fits the mold of the new age quarterback. He's exactly what you want. He is exactly what you want.
What do
And
you mean? No one's worth that much. I mean, but you're saying as the market dictates, he's worth that much.
yes,
I guess he's like any kind of, and I hate to say, I don't even want to say it like this, but he's an investment. He's a commodity for that team, right?
Yeah.
If they feel that what they're putting into him will get them a return as far as sales, jersey sales, ticket sales, advancement of their team for the years to come, I can
It's-
understand that, but
more about the wins though.
it is,
ain't
but
about jerseys.
$503 million over 10 years,
Yeah, but I can't remember what they said. I remember seeing it on a tweet. It's a quote that I've heard, and like something like I don't quote me on the number, but every win in the NFL for your team is like $500 million. Like it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest like.
I don't know. There's a better stat on postseason. Like if you host a postseason game, how much that's worth. Like making the playoffs and the dollars that are associated with making the playoffs is crazy, actually.
Yeah, it is.
So to answer my perspective, should he be the highest paid quarterback in the league? Absolutely. And if that's what that is, because that is crazy. Like
What does Lamar get?
What's that?
What does Lamar Jackson get in
Still in his rookie deal.
In 2 years or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't win, not as much.
Okay, so and you know what? Okay, so we'll spin off into that one. Lamar Jackson is not okay. Like he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. What has he done in the playoffs? He played like shit. He did.
Give him a chance.
He's barely been in the league, Lane.
Okay, but Patrick Mahomes has won a Super Bowl on a really good offensive team. Yeah, he's probably the best in the game.
Mahomes has done more with his arm and proved to be that type of person, like, or that type of leader on his team. Jackson had a really good, like you said, really good regular season. I mean, I think this year, you remember how we talked about the Kaepernicks and the Cam Newtons and the guys who play that style of game and can't defenses eventually figure them out, right, Boomer? And they see the tape and then they run the spy and they know what coverages to run and they just can they get the read off of him, right? What he likes to look off, what he likes, like second option type stuff. And I think if Lamar can get through that and still be as dominant, then he's up there. And I think, and then he has a chance.
Give him time, though.
Yeah, well, for sure. And that's
the
thing. That's why I'm saying Mahomes. You would say give him time. Like, let's just say he didn't win. Let's just say he was in negotiations. You'd be saying, well, give him time and he'll succeed. The guy, he's young. He's good. He's a leader. Like, this guy's not – he's not a shithead. Like so I think Mahomes deserves to be the highest paid. I think Jackson, my prediction, he does not do what Mahomes does. I think he goes the other way. I think he fits the mold of teams figure him out a little bit. He'll still be good. I think Sean Watson's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
I don't.
Just cause, yeah.
Bucko's my boy. I got your back, Bucko. Don't worry.
Oh God.
Not
question.
necessarily beaking him. I just think he's
rapid fire.
Okay, here. I'll wrap this up then. I want to give one thing to Mahomes. He's a genius for signing when he did because his stock will never ever be higher, even if they won the Super Bowl next year.
But if he gets hurt or regresses, it looks like a horrible signing, and I'll tie into that one later on. Just give me
for Mahomes' cap. He's a genius. Good for him.
Absolutely. Should Deshaun Jackson be cut / reprimanded for his Instagram post?
Yep.
I would say, yeah. Guys have been cut. Certainly disciplined for less. So I
say that.
Yeah, he has to be.
It's easy. You can't.
Steven Jackson should be in more trouble.
Who? Steven Jackson?
Steven Jackson, after
tried defending him.
Yeah, he defended him after he'd already apologized. It's like, yeah. But.
Yeah.
See, and I think the thing is, too, is like Steven Jackson, if you want to throw yourself out there as being the voice behind George Floyd, like you have, and it's fine, you're standing up for what you believe in, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard and a higher accountability. And by endorsing or basically saying what Deshaun put was okay, it's taken a step back, right? That's just my opinion. But
here's what I think also I don't think these guys deserve to get blackballed over this stuff though. Like kicked out of the league, like that type of stuff. I think we need to get away from. I mean, yes, you want to teach them a lesson and all that, but I mean, Kaepernick is a good example of should have he been blackballed? No. Like that can't be the solution here. There has to be something else. I mean, we should be talking more about what Edelman said this morning.
Hit us with it.
You didn't
kinda
see
sucked.
his,
What was so wrong with what he
He
did?
was fine.
no,
He's
what I'm
almost
no. That's what I'm getting at. He approached it in that sort of way, just to say,
Oh.
"Let us help you. Let's not."
Yeah, he basically
Oh, this,
invaded him.
this is a joke, and can you believe he's saying that? And we need to jump on him. Like
No,
he
He
approached
said, "Hey,
it really.
come for the day, meet me, and we'll go through the Holocaust
Yeah.
Museum." Yeah, 100%.
That's what, and that type of approach to this, everyone wants like the eye for an eye, like the Drew Brees thing. Everyone, crucified Drew Brees, and so they think now Deshaun's got to go up there and have that, and I just don't believe that is the way to handle it. Therefore, my answer is: should he be reprimanded? Sure. Should he suffer consequences from this? Yes. But should he be cut and kicked out of the league and career ended?
It doesn't
No.
accomplish anything.
No.
It doesn't
Exactly.
accomplish anything. But I'm glad you brought that up because my boy Edelman did make a very good post there. I did like it. A lot of people liked it. And,
Yeah.
that just shows how everyone thinks we're still not seeing the big picture. I think he sees it, and instead of going this way with it, he's like, okay, let me try and show you something so you understand both sides of it, right?
Yep.
It was great.
Oh, I like it.
Educate instead of ostracize.
Should any NFL team be giving more than a 3 to 5 year contract on any player?
NFL, just NFL, you said?
I think all
Let's
teams
let's take it in any sport because the injuries, the risks are all the same, right?
Yep.
A 3 to 5 year contract, you know what you're getting out of that 3 to 5 year contract from that player, right?
Generally.
Obviously, if you're giving him that type of deal, you see that there's promise and there's potential with that player. A 10-year contract like Mahomes just signed, a lot can happen in 10 years. Like he could blow out a leg, an arm, a knee, anything, and your investment has completely gone to shit. That end of it, I think players are smart to sign for the longest term they can, which obviously as a player is what you want to do. As a team manager or a team GM or an owner, like, and I'll
You
throw
don't
this
see
one
the
out there.
NBA doing that, though.
Well,
NBA, and I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, there's the insurance policy side, but I see it starting to go the other way. I think guys are gonna find these little like pockets in their career where they're signing shorter term contracts for higher amounts,
right.
winning championships, increasing their value. And as much as people might not like it, play for 4 or 5 teams throughout their career. As much as everyone hacks on LeBron, I think that is actually probably what's going to happen here. You're just going to see more of it where guys aren't just 10-year. Like the Mahomes thing, I think it's almost old school to be going that long with one team. I think that you're going to see guys try to do let's go here, kind of build a super team as much as you can in some of these sports where it's a little bit more difficult, but try to find these pockets where, okay, his contract, and his contract are going to match up really well over the next 2 to 3 years. Let's build this program around these 3 guys. If it doesn't work out, we cut ties with them all and start to kind of refresh the program. So you can't do that with a 10-year contract.
But I got 2 things. First of all, like a guy like Dak Prescott, I would not invest and give a long-term deal to at all. So for Dallas, like you use that franchise tag to your advantage, right?
Dak is the perfect example of what I just described.
Yep.
I would take Dak in like the 3 to 5 year, 2 to 4 year program. And even like if you look at hockey, same sort of thing. Like these smaller contracts and these guys get paid. They win, they get paid. And that's why Mahomes got paid.
So this is where I wanted to go with this, and I know you're gonna rake me over the coals, but I'm making the analogy because it makes sense.
Oh boy.
The Kings.
Kings coming up, boys.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
When the Kings won the cup,
drink, go.
the drinking game. When the Kings won, they awarded Lombardi rewarded a lot of these guys with long-term contracts. Jeff Carter, Marian Gaborik, Kopitar I was okay with giving a 10-year contract because he's going to retire a King. Screw you, Pratt. But now you see where it's led them into salary cap hell. They couldn't go out and sign new players. They signed Kovalchuk, took a huge hit on that one. Dion Phaneuf, they had to buy out. Jared Stoll, they had to buy out. Mike Richards, they had to buy out. So they've got
actually, Lane, that is quite an impressive list of fucking idiots to sign to long-term contracts at that point in their career.
no, and the thing is,
Marian Gaborik, Jeff Carter,
Mike Richards.
Phaneuf.
well,
And for no long term,
Phaneuf
but
was
like,
part of the trade, right? So they had to absorb part of his contract.
yeah.
So they just bought him out for the last year or two of his contract, right? But they literally, Lombardi gave Gaborik 6 years. He gave Carter 6 years. And my dad and I, like, my dad's a huge Kings fan. And we both looked at each other like, why would you do that? You got what you wanted out of them. They were rentals, but now you rewarded them, right? So is there something to be said? Do you want to reward these players for winning championships for your team and paying them? Or do you cut ties and walk away?
Depends who the player is. Totally depends who the player is.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, and exactly like I said, I think the mentality is going to be you cut ties and you build your new pocket. You find a different pocket. Maybe some guys fit in, maybe some guys don't.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just my theory on it anyway, that I think that's what works. I know in the NFL, there's a good theory on that quarterback. You're better off investing in your team and then getting a good drafted quarterback who's in on that rookie contract, just like Mahomes, just like Jackson, just like Watson, these guys. And you get a guy that can get the job done under center, but doesn't make the huge bucks and win a championship. And I mean, eventually you either pay them to keep them or you lose them. But it's a method, and it goes against the long.
The thing about hockey is, and I can use maybe Ovechkin as an example.
That's exactly where I was going to go with this, Jeff.
Is there's risk to the team, right, for signing that long-term deal that seems so big, but say it's an 11-year contract, 8 years down the road, you're actually underpaying the guy, right, because salary caps went up, everything's went up, inflation, you name it. It's like a mortgage on your house, right? All of a sudden, your mortgage payment.
But in the NHL, the salary cap hasn't moved a lot. So I see what you're saying. I get that. But
I would say it's moved a lot since 2008.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking with the new CBA, right? I'm talking when they assign a new CBA, it's only been for 5-6 years, right? So we're looking at chunks of time, right? Washington would have had to have signed a guy like Ovechkin. You don't let him walk, right?
No,
but I'll say this: I'm not sure where Holtby is at on his contract right now, but you're going to be in a position the same where, well, right, Samsonov is your next guy. Samsonov is the new, same with LA. Now you've got Jonathan Quick for 3 more years. You can't trade him. Nobody wants him, but we've got Cal Peterson waiting to come and play. So what do? You can't trade him. You can't cut him. What? Guys, I'm making, like, you guys beak me, but I know more about Kings hockey than anything, and I can relate it to the situation they were in with the salary cap. I mean, laugh all you want, but it is what it is.
No, I know. I hope
the analogy.
Like, I mean, I understand what is going on with people paying these contracts. It sucks. Yep. Okay, I can't handle you guys laughing at me anymore. We're moving on.
We can. Don't worry about it later. You can edit.
COVID-19. Are we okay with forging ahead with the sports? We got baseball starting in 2 weeks. Basketball, they're in the bubble. They're starting. The Raptors arrived there today.
I think we should shut her all down.
You would. Freaking.
Yeah, right.
I know.
I am just. You forge through. Just power through this.
Just go.
The 365 account is just. I'm licking my chops, waiting to get in there and lay some bets.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah, like
DeChambeau. I hate that guy.
Yeah, I will bet on a Tigers-Indians game if I have to at this point. I don't even care. That's how ready I am to go. It's been 4.5 months, long 4.5 months. The NFL players have been given an option to opt out on the season. Don't like that. I don't like that. You're either all in or you're all out, right? Like, What kind of message are you sending to the guys that you gave the option to opt out, but the rest of the team is there willing to sacrifice and play for the betterment? And because it's hard to tell an NFL player to not play. They all have the hunger to play, right? But all of a sudden one guy's like, meh, I'm going to opt out. But that might wear on another guy to be like, meh, I don't want to play either, right?
Everyone has their reasons, Lane. Like
I understand that, but Dustin, the way I'm looking at this is those guys are getting paid handsomely to go out there and risk being in the limelight. We aren't. We have to go to work every day whether we want to or not. We got to pay the bills.
Well,
That's how I look at it.
Lane, so do these guys. Like, let's not.
Oh, don't even play that card. They are not hurting at all, Dustin. Not at all. None of them are.
Do you want to bet?
The minor leaguers and the guys that are like your offensive linemen that aren't under long-term contracts and shit like that and get paid on a per game basis. Yeah, okay, I can understand that.
Lane, there's a 54-man roster in the NFL. Look at how many people that is. There's 22 starters on a team, less than half the
Dustin,
team.
I'm talking about the team that we see on the field that we know are the stars that are getting paid, that are complaining. And I'm talking about even baseball. Mike Trout might sit out. Don't feed.
What I'm getting at is, regardless of their situation, Lane, just because their financial, they might own a $2 million house, $10 million house. Like,
all
they might
choices
have
they
to
made.
play.
All
Yeah,
choices they made.
what I'm getting at is, financially, it's not just I have enough money, I don't need to do anything here. It's like some of these guys do need the money. Actually, a lot of these guys need the
The
money.
minor leaguers, like David Price, came out and paid the minor league system of the Dodgers. All those guys, he gave them like $2,500 or $3,000 for a month to make their payments and stuff. I get that, but I'm talking about the guys that are under contract making good money. That I'm sorry that you spent frivolously on money to fashion a $3 million house or whatever, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. My heart doesn't bleed for you. If you want to play, you're playing. If you don't, it's a gray area. I don't want to really argue about it because I understand there's health risk. I get it. So I'm just saying, if you wouldn't have to convince me too hard to go back out and play if they can assure me that it'll be somewhat safe. That's just my take. So,
Lane, we had to convince you to play in the Figgy Cup the one year because you rolled your ankle or something like that.
hey, did I not come out and win the cup? Did I not come out and win my match that day? Did I not come out and win my match that day?
Oh, Lane.
Hey, how many other guys didn't show? You guys, I'm bitter about that. Guys did no-showed because they were hungover and drunk. I was hurt, and you guys blackballed me because I wasn't going to show up. But the rest of the drunkards, Holt Callis no-showed, and you guys all threw me under the bus. Give me a break. Oh, I was furious. Furious. Okay, we're getting past that. Okay. That's what I had for rapid fire stuff. We could go on. We will go on. In the coming weeks, we got a lot going on. Baseball, hopefully, is back. We will be touching on that. Basketball, hockey. The schedule's been released. August 1st, they're supposed to be starting up. And, like I said, I really hope that they do power through and they keep going. And the season is the new season, I do believe, starts December 1st, from what I saw.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not much.
I think there's like a month and a half difference. Then they'll have their free agency and they'll dive into the next one, which is good as far as I'm concerned. Same with basketball. That being said, we got stuff on the horizon. We got stuff to talk about. We will have content. It's good. Local shout out, Jeffrey.
Yes. Estevan Bruins and Estevan Bears Junior Hockey Club and the AAA Midget Club. Season tickets are for sale right now. Tomorrow they are going to be at TSN Woodlawn Golf Course selling at 33% off, I was told. So jump on it. If you're going to get a ticket, go get them now. Pretty sure I'm correct on the 33%. If I'm not, pull it out of the swear jar.
Jeff will cover.
Yeah,
Jeff
cheap
will
seats
cover
is
the
33%.
difference for you guys.
Yeah, go down and meet. I seen the new head coach, Jason Tatarnik, and Phil Fife, the assistant. We're on the JP Road Show with a good interview. And when we start doing our interviews, which is going to come soon, we'll be getting them on to meet them and hear what their plans are and ask them some goofy questions. So
Oh God, they're gonna be pumped about that. Another local shout out. Oh, I gotta do it. Team Walrat, Wallace and Pratt,
oh,
different sides, but came together for one cause to knock Dustin Wilson and Lee Simons off the pedestal. Took them down in a match. It was great, Jeff. I felt good about it. Did you feel good about it?
yeah, they were never on a pedestal. A pedestal means you've done something to be on top of a pedestal.
I was willing to admit that, but I love you, Leo. But yeah,
we just wiped them. And kudos to you, Lane. You carried us. I was just glad to drive you around in the cart, buddy.
I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, Lee. The funniest thing I have seen in a long, long time. Hole 7. Wilson's a bit rattled. Lee's a bit rattled. Well, I think we were, 3 up at that point, Jeff?
3 up. Lee's sweating. Yep.
Yeah, Lee's about to tee off, steps up to the ball. He says, all right, let's get her going here, boys. And he proceeds to jack one right into the weeds right in front of the long, tall stuff. And I feel for it. I've been there. So he goes and grabs another ball, tees her up, and he's a little bit rattled again. Fires one exact same spot into the bush. Third one, I believe the hat went on backwards, because that was what was going on the whole time, right? Tees up the third ball, and he pumps her. It literally, there was a path from the first 2, and it rode the path into the third one. I think he finally just chucked the club and said, give me a 10, I'm done. So that definitely was one of the best moments I've seen this year. It was good. Good times, good fun. And we've got some stuff coming up. We got some matches to have here, boys. We've got some 2-on-1 basketball. We got some accuracy football stuff going. We got some, and there's going to be some cash games on the line for some golf. So
and video? Is there going to be video of these?
Oh yes, there will be. We're going to do side sods. We're going to do side sods where we put those on there. And,
Mini-sodes.
it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. We're going to get these things on the go. And like I said, with sports returning, we are licking our chops to get going and give some actual content that we can get behind and discuss. So,
and we're going to line up another junior golf.
Yep.
Cheap seats.
Yep, we'll get another match on the go
coming up soon.
And
redeem ourselves.
if you guys can knock me off that pedestal.
That's a pedestal. There you go.
That was a pedestal. That chip is on a pedestal. Yeah, well played. Okay, guys, another good week. Thanks for watching. We will. Thanks to the sponsors again: Ice Factory, Tap House, Woodlawn. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on Twitter. Take care.